What's up, everyone? It's Wacko. Welcome you to another draft recap. I wasn't expecting to make one of these this week, but unfortunately, Cryptics had to drop out of SPS Ultra Sun and Moon draft, which is funny because he had just won last week against a really good player. So at least I'm picking up a team that has a win under its belt already, which is awesome. And I kind of constructed most of the team. So I kind of have a lot of the thoughts in my head already about how I want to run the team, and I've made a couple trades that I think make the team more viable. Even though, not that I like the mons that I had to pick up, but it's Gen 7, and there's not a lot of good dark types left, if you know what I mean. So I guess you'll have to sit around and find out. So yeah, it's gonna be a short season. I think it's only like 6 weeks, 5 6 weeks, since week one is already played. I'll only be playing like 4 or 5 weeks, so I'm not gonna go like super in depth with this team. But it is my first time doing an USUM draft, so yeah. Some of the moves on the side I don't think really make sense. Like teleport. There's no teleport baton pass. I might just put like heal bell and like aromatherapy there or something. Cool. Oh, actually, it's not gonna work that way because I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. So flip turn and teleport are just gonna have to be there. So, anyways, my first mon is actually gonna be a Z captain, but we have Garchomp, who's one of our Z captains. So we actually end up getting to use 2 Z captains this season. Garchomp is one of mine. There was no restriction on Z moves. Even like I think Kieran Black is allowed, and like Z Kieran Black is on the board. So yeah, I have Z Garchomp. I just finished using Garchomp actually, because I guess 2 of my drafts just ended. My SDS and my CLDL draft just ended. So yeah, I get to use Garchomp again, which is very cool. I love Garchomp. Very cool. Like, I think Garchomp's just balanced. But it does a lot with having bulk, and it has Stealth Rock and Toxic, and I love those moves on him as a bulky ground. Like just like Rock's Toxic, Earthquake, one of my favorite move sets. Even though it's not very whack of me to run like Rock's Toxic, but it's really fun to like whittle things down, I think. And I could run like Dragon Tail. Like Garchomp is just one of the easiest mons to build with, and it could do a lot. I could run special sets too, obviously, if I want. But the Z move offers me just, like if I want to nuke something with like Aqua Tail, I could just like Z Hydro Vortex, like a Gliscor or something if I need to, or, and also hidden powers allowed, so like 80 special attack with a hidden power, not bad. We'll see. Anyways, unfortunately, back from CLDL, we have our Zapdos. I don't really like this mon that much, and after I told Cryptics to not draft Zapdos, and end up drafting Zapdos. It's fine. The thing with this mon is it doesn't get Hurricane. What the fuck is Zapdos supposed to do now? Like, I think it runs Hidden Power. Like, it runs like HP Ice maybe, or like I don't really know what the fuck Zapdos does in Gen 7. Like, I guess you could. I think it's better as like the bulky sets are better in Gen 7. I think Gen 8, Gen 9 might be where like the more offensive Zapdoses come in. Correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, but I suppose that's what Zapdos does in Gen 7. I guess if I don't have to miss Hurricane, that's great. Still gets Heat Wave for like the steel types that might give it issue, or whatever the fuck gives it issues. At this point, it would be like a fucking grass type that would give it an issue, because who the fuck is... Am I running Air Cutter on Zapdos? I don't fucking know. So yeah. Anyways, our third mon is going to be Azelf. Z Azelf. You could say the legend ZA Zelf, who's also kind of repping that SDS. I haven't used Azelf since starting SDS, I don't think. The only Lake Spirit thing I've used since SDS began, like 4 years ago. It was like Mesprit. So yeah, I do like Azelf, especially in Gen 7. I think Azelf, its power level definitely works a lot better in Gen 7. Whereas I think Gen 8, like, it started to kind of fall off quite a bit. But its speed tier in Gen 7 is pretty decent. And even looking at other people's teams, they don't have a lot of options above that Azelf speed tier. So Azelf will be the fastest mon in a lot of matchups, which is great. I can run rocks. It gets taunt, knockoff, explosion. It gets U-turn. And just overall, it gets a lot of coverage moves. And again, because it's my second Z captain, I could easily just nuke something. If I need it to hit like a fire blast on something, I can just run Z fire. What is the fire Z move? I don't fucking remember. Again, I don't really know much about Z moves, and I should have looked more into Z captains, especially on my team, because I don't know, but I think Azelf is fine as a Z captain. Same with Garchomp. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have to end up changing those at all, but at this point, I'm pretty much locked into this team, so I don't really care. I trust that Cryptix chose Azelf for a reason, and sure, Z Azelf it is. Legend ZA Zelf. Anyways, speaking of the Legends ZA, we have the Legend of AZ. We have two Legend AZs. We got Azelf and Azumarill. So back from the CLDL team, one of the good mons that I brought back, and if you guys watch the video, I ranked this guy the second best mon on my team, so I'm really happy to be using Azu again, especially in a kind of a lower power level, where I'm not facing like Gen 8 or Gen 9 levels of bullshit mons. Truth be told though, I'm sure things in Gen 7 are tankier, but Azu don't care. I think Azu's great in Gen 7, and again, it's still, supposedly it's a mon that gets knockoff still. I like that. Also having priority is really great. Azu's one of the best priority mons, I think, in existence, so I like that for me, having priority. And I have my speed tiers all already, so the rest of the draft, in theory, should be kind of fun, right? Our next one's going to be Roserade. So this is one of the mons I told Cryptix to pick up. He was thinking about Mega Venusaur, and I think maybe Mega Venusaur is a better pickup on this team, because it would have helped out the physical defense a lot more. However, I really want to use Technician Hidden Power. At least in matchups where I feel like I'd have to run Hidden Power, but it also has Natural Cure, which is great. It has like Aromatherapy, I believe, so cool mon. I used Roserade like 4 years ago, and it won me a chip all those years ago. And now that I'm in a generation where it, in theory, should be a lot better because I can run Hidden Power, I think Roserade's awesome. It's definitely fallen off a lot in Gen 9, but again, I'm just excited to be able to use this mon. It's another mon with base 125 special attack, and I have 3 of those already, but hey, it's fine. Probably my last... No, it's not my last special attacker. There's going to be more, but hopefully within our next few picks we'll get some more defense. And speaking of defense, we got Buzzwole. Now, Buzzwole, I thought would have been a lot better in Gen 7, but I actually saw its move pool earlier. It doesn't learn close combat. It gets superpower, but its fighting moves aren't great. But you know what? It's still a really fat mon, and it really fills in that physical defense role. I think bug fighting is like kind of similar to grass fighting, where it has a lot of weaknesses. Well, actually, it only has 4 weaknesses, but one of those weaknesses being flying, like, kind of sucks. Actually, it has all the same weaknesses as grass fighting, but not as bad. It doesn't resist rock, but I have a good rock resist with Garchomp. I was considering putting Z on Buzzwole, but I kept it on Azelf because I kind of like physical option plus and special option, or like mixed plus mixed option if I wanted. So I kept it that way. Buzzwole might have been a better Z captain, but I do like... I like Buzzwole. It it's very giving of like it gives great Tusk, and it gets Roost, and it's just a good like helmet bot. I like Buzzwole a lot actually, so very good to very nice to have it on the team. I don't know though if it gets like Drain Punch. Does it get Drain Punch in Gen 7? I actually don't know. And I don't really want to click on my team builder to find out, but I guess I'll be finding out pretty soon because I'll probably be building a bit later. So we'll see. Our next mon, it's going to be Empoleon. This is the steel type that Cryptix chose. Empoleon was actually a lot earlier in the draft than my thing shows. I just kind of put the mons in the order I remembered putting them on the team. Because a lot of these mons are like the same amount of points, except for like Chomp, Zapdos. But most of these guys are like between that 10 and 12 range, and I just kind of put them in a random order. So yeah, Empoleon was originally the water pick. The fairy was going to be Clefable, but it got sniped like right before he picked. So he ended up picking Azu, which I think is okay because on a team where the grass type doesn't resist ground and the other water is part steel, which doesn't resist ground, having a double water, completely fine. They do different things. The sad thing about Empoleon is I really wish I could have used I really wish I could have used Empoleon in a meta where it had Roost, but unfortunately I don't get Roost on it. It doesn't get Flip Turn either, so like it just kind of, it's gonna get like what, Defog Rocks, Knock Scald, which is okay because Empoleon I think currently has 4 move slot syndrome, but in this scenario it's 4 move slot syndrome shouldn't be that bad. And the last time I used Empoleon competitively, it had Defiant, so I guess I should be used to not just having competitive, which is unfortunate, but you know what? We'll roll with Empoleon. I think it's okay in Gen 7. It might not have a lot of longevity, but to be fair, whatever, I guess. Next month's gonna be Mega Sableye. Originally, this team had Mega Houndoom on it because Cryptix loves Houndoom. However, I was kind of struggling because I didn't really want to use Mega Houndoom as my dark type. Not that I have a problem with Mega Houndoom, but also I don't have a normal type at this point that I'd be comfortable bringing over the top 6 probably. Or like, at this point it'd be like my top 8, because all of these mons are great, I think. But yeah, I ended up slotting Mega Sableye. I'm not the biggest fan of Mega Sableye either, but since I can't run boots, I kind of thought it would be nice to have something that could deter hazards for Zapdos, because Zapdos is my biggest remover right now. And having Magic Bounce I thought was decent. It's also very bulky. It can deter like other status ailments from it, and I think in Gen 7 it's bulky enough where like it isn't just getting 2-shot by everything like it does in Gen 8 and Gen 9. I'm sure you could probably overwhelm Mega Sableye. I think people really just don't know how to prep for Sableye for some reason, but I think they've probably figured it out, and I don't think Sableye is very good anymore, but it is a ghost type, so it's a spin blocker, which is nice in a generation where I think Rapid Spin is probably still the more preferred removal method, perhaps. And it gets stuff like Wisp, and I can Calm Mind. I've run like Calm Mind's Mega Sableye in like Gen 7 OU before. Pretty decent, honestly. I like the mon. It's not my favorite Mega, but for some reason today when I woke up, I was like, you know what? Mega Sableye actually seems like kind of a fun, maybe not a fun pick, but just an interesting pick. And I like its design, I guess, too. So I guess it had that going for it. It's also another mon that has knockoff and shit like that, so pretty cool. And Wisp. I like Wisp on it as well, even though I used to miss it all the time. But anyways, our next mon is going to be Lycanroc Dusk. Again, being with Zapdos and Azumarill coming back from CLDL, Lycanroc Dusk is pretty decent. It is missing some tools that it wishes it had in Gen 7, like Psychic things, but it does have Zen Headbutt apparently, so I guess. I think Lycanroc is pretty good, especially in Gen 7 where its speed tier is a lot better. comparatively to everything else. And I guess it kind of helped me fill that speed gap between Azelf and Garchomp, whereas now I feel like I could probably run like a bulkier Garchomp or a bulky Zapdos if I want to, and Lycanroc can kind of help that speed. So I didn't mind Lycanroc that much at all. I guess that's all I can really say about it. I don't really want this video to be too long, so moving on, we got Porygon 2, which is pretty cheap actually. Porygon 2 was like 6 points. I thought it was decent. Shows it has teleport here, but technically teleport does nothing in Gen 7, so it's not really a teleport bot. But to be fair, when I used Porygon 2, I didn't really use it as a teleport bot. I used it as a bulky, like, it was like recover T-Wave and like 2 offensive moves. But now I'm like, Trace actually seems really interesting. I could probably get away with like running download, and I always loved analytic as well. Porygon is actually just a stronger mon than people expect it to be, and that's kind of cool. Especially on a slow mon with like analytic, I think it's pretty cool. With all those coverage moves, it gets Bolt Beam coverage and Tri Attack. So I could just status things randomly if I want to, and it's really good Ghost Resist. On a team where my Dark type does not resist Ghost, and I don't have a Ghost Resist otherwise. So yeah, Porygon 2. Certainly least, and also last, we have Rapidash. Again, this team did have Mega Houndoom, and it had Cofagrigus as its Ghost, and not that I don't mind Cofag, but I think I would have rather had Mega Sableye over both Cofag and Mega Houndoom at that point, so I had 2 points left, and I was like, you know what? We'll patch up our Fairy and our Ice weakness, and we'll just pick up Rapidash. I don't think Rapidash is awful. I did do my research, and it does look like it gets high horsepower in this gen, which is kind of all I wanted to see, because I think Fire Ground coverage is awesome. I think it gets Wild Charge, too, so theoretically, I could just run it and click buttons if I want to, if my other mons kind of have to do something. Rapidash can run like Morning Sun plus like a bulky set if I'm facing like a Scizor and for some reason Zapdos just isn't cutting it against a Scizor for whatever fucking reason. So yeah, Rapidash is a very cool mon, and I am excited to not use it at all. To be fair though, I could see myself like somehow not slotting like one of these mons every week. I wouldn't be surprised if like Empoleon doesn't come to any games. Even though it is my steel type, like, there's just, like, all these mons are good, except Rapidash, but, like, I have 10 mons that are good. Am I really going to want to have to use them all every week? It's going to be really tough, but I think it'll be interesting, and every week will look different, for sure. But it was mostly the way things were priced. Like, I had so much budget, but, like, even after the entire draft, I'm like, wow, everything on the board is great. Even though, like, there was kind of a scarcity in, like, dark types, I legit almost picked up Mega Tyranitar because there was nothing else there. I could have picked up Hoopa Unbound, I guess. Hoopa Unbound actually probably would have been better than Mega Sableye, but I kind of like the Ghost type more than having 2 Psychic types, so what have you. And having Empoleon that also resists Fairy for Sableye. And Roserade. I like the Roserade and Empoleon pairing with Mega Sableye a lot. So, yeah. We'll be facing someone this week, I think Necrotic, who has like a Celesteela team, which is very cool, and a Z Latios, just love that for me. But, yeah, hopefully we'll get by, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.